good evening. Another year is coming to a close. So this time I want to do something different. It's not going to be a sleepy video, but more of a gentle look back at a few moments, a few triggering moments, a few triggers that surprised me. And most of all, you guys responded to those moments in the most beautiful ways. So I wanted to take a look at a few of those, share my thoughts about them, kind of revisit them and deconstruct them maybe in some way, explain how they worked out. And some of those moments happened naturally, some were sort of an experiment, and others were a surprise to me as well. So let's do this together. So the first video is with August ASMR, a wonderful, beautiful ASMR artist that I worked with this past year. And in this specific scene, which was highly received by you guys, I think what happened is you'll notice the zoom in. I've tried doing the zoom in instead of cutting like to the next scene, and I've noticed that these zoom ins this year have worked like magic when I was editing and I was trying different techniques to do that part. I've noticed that zoom in actually created like a deeper sensation of tingles. Even though I don't get them, I can almost assume when they could come in. And you'll notice how much I focus on the back of the neck here, on the hair. Whenever I watch these real person videos, that is the one thing that just always gives me tingles when I watch it myself. So I wanted to spend extra time just doing that, and it was well received. I'm very happy with that. So let's watch it together. Away. We'll start by brushing in front of the ear, over the cheek, and behind the ear. I love this because sometimes you might feel almost borderline ticklish, but then it always goes into a more relaxing sensation, especially if done slowly. And with care and intention. Brushing right over it with big strokes. Just like so. From the cheek to the ear and then the neck. Cheek, ear and the neck. Finishing up with some presses of my hand. Okay, and you can see at the end I did more of a firm presses. I do that on purpose to do a sort of, I used to call it palette cleanser. So it's not just the gentle kind of flowy hands, but some are anchoring parts that are slow and heavy. I feel like that creates dynamic in the videos like that. So I enjoy finishing some scenes with hands on like this too. I also really loved how her earring jiggled every time I would go over with the brush over it. Okay, let's do the next one. The next one is the dentist. And I actually had a dentist appointment a couple weeks before that. And when I was sitting there, I got tingles from my hygienist when she was taking pictures, x-rays. And she used the crinkliest thing on that little camera piece that they put in your mouth. And for the longest time I was thinking how to represent that thing. So I ended up using my lamp and a plastic bag. I have like an arm lamp. That was the closest I could get. I was like, I'm just gonna go with it. So the crinkle up close to the microphone, closer than my mouth, specifically this very low grade crinkle, is super satisfying. I see you guys are mentioning that too in the comments. I'm glad that you noticed that. And the second scene that I enjoyed, and I think you guys enjoyed too, is also from that dentist appointment, and when I did taps on the gum. So I used like a piece of fabric that's sort of faux leather. I wrap it underneath and I tap the tools on it, so it gives it that soft but still audible sound. So I'm glad you guys like that. And I did the 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3 when they measured the softness or hardness. I'm blanking on the word for it right now. So I'm including that because that was beautiful. When they did that, I almost fell asleep when they were doing it on me. So let's take a look. Open your mouth, please. Okay, and bite down. Okay, open your mouth again. And you can see I have focused on that part quite a lot. That whole scene is quite long. I leaned into it because it was a beautiful experience for me personally. Okay, next one is hypnosis. So in this hypnosis video, I did a couple different things. I first of all never make hypnosis videos for some reason, or meditations as much, and I should. And I started doing it in this video, and I sat down, and I remember I spent quite some time figuring out what I want to do with it. The direction, the colors, like the hair. And I went with all warm, kind of pinks and warm oranges colors, as you notice. I did super long nails because I wanted to sort of almost trace them along, which is what I did with the candle too, you'll notice. And another thing I wanted to add here is the inclusion of Russian words, specifically a little sentence that goes Tishina. You'll see it a couple times. I did one with a candle tracing, and one I did with just the hands, but with echo, so you'll hear some reverb in the background, which added kind of mystery almost to it, I think. I loved editing that video so much. It was so much fun. Because I was working on that music track, which I made myself as well. Me doing 2 different versions of that whisper, which simply translates silence, shh, quiet, quiet, quiet. We used to have a very famous singer in Russia, and he had a song. It was a loud song, but he used that sentence in it. And recently, I don't know from where, it just came to my mind and I remembered it. And when I said it out loud, it was very soothing, and I'm like, I'm gonna use that. So I used that phrase. In the second part of this video, you will see a hypnosis part with the countdown, where I begin the swirling, the tracing of the dots on the wall. I turn in the wave sounds, the swooshing wave sound, and then at the very end I start the countdown and I do the hand movements towards the camera in a very dim setting, very hypnotic, very beautiful. Plus the reverb was also on, so it was a bit echoey and it's surreal and ethereal and mysterious. That's what I was going for. So let's enjoy. So I really enjoyed the simplicity of this setup with just the two big lights behind me and the lamp that cascaded the dots on the wall. I love the colors that I've used, the oranges, the red, sort of kind of pink sunset. I loved everything about that video. One of my favorite videos for this year, truly. And I had fun writing the text for it too, because I don't usually write meditations. I used to do much more of them, but then I kind of stopped. So I'm coming back to that as well. And I'm glad you guys liked this video too. Okay, so the next one is the inaudible chatting. So I don't do a lot of those videos, but when I do, there's like a whole crowd of you guys who enjoy it, and I'm so happy. I try my best to do something different every time. In this one, I've included this part with reading a book in gibberish, and I see it's one of the highest viewed part of the video. Just simple page turning and whispering in gibberish way like this, with this microphone, which I don't use quite often. So let's take a listen. And also in the end, somebody mentioned they enjoyed me doing the Russian sentences, which I say sometimes, which is just basically a little saying I say to my children before they go to sleep. Sometimes I do it in this video still. You probably notice them. And I kind of twinkle the earrings a bit with my nails, and it creates like a layered sounds. So enjoy. Going to college. Meanwhile, let's rapidly making quotes of as he presently informed the other two witnesses as the first. Was bound for Hamilton College, not, however, like themselves for the first time. He had already spent a year in the institution, and he announced with some pride and pomposity. Then he assumed very patronizing airs as he went on to describe the buildings and the grounds, the routine of the study, the gymnastic exercises, and the game and folk among the students. So all of which Hall and Schaefer listened with eager interest, yet they did not relish his manner, and neither felt disposed to make an intimate friend of him. Richard had been carefully trained and instructed by intelligence and Christian parents, was remarkably well behaved and gentlemanly. Sweet dreams. День шумел, и ночью объятый, дом наш зовет нас ко сну. Доброй вам ночи, наши ребята, доброй вам ночи, наши девчата. Завтра нам снова в путь. Всем спокойной ночи. Весна стала днем короче. Чтоб нам завтра повезло, чтоб нам завтра повезло. Сейчас мы будем спать, глазки закрывать и засыпать. Спокойной ночи. Good night. Sweet dreams. It was quite soothing, very nice gibberish sounds. So the next video is the Lancome Spa, and I did the same triggering 2 videos in the Dior Spa and the Lancome Spa, and luxury spa I should call them. So I've used this tool by Dior, and the story is a little weird, but I was searching for a serum, like a new serum for myself, and I stumbled upon this tool, and I'm like, what is that tool? And I was not even looking for Dior did it, and it looked so cute. And I started Googling it because I could tell that it would sound potentially good. So I watched a few tutorials, and oh my god, there's one luxury esthetician that does Dior facials, and I watched her perform the whole thing. So the whole thing is based on her. She used this tool on it, and I was obsessed. She had the most poise about her. She was confident, structured, like just a queen. I swear to God, I watched her. I'm like, I want to be that. So I structured both of those videos on her character using some of the tools and products that she used. Probably should give her credit, but I'll link her video if you wish. I enjoy watching videos like that and get inspired and kind of using that lingo a bit. You'll notice that I copied a few of her sentences too. So yeah, I was in the character. Let's take a look. This tool sounds very interesting, and I didn't do any overlay sounds. I did it directly on I covered the screen sides. It's a long story, with some elastic fabric, and I roll it on it so it represents the skin sound. But it was quite a beautiful sound. Let's take a listen. Okay, so I will now use my beautiful metal tool by Dior. It has 21 ceramic pearls on it. It gives you that really beautiful cooling effect while lifting and toning your muscles and your skin. So I'll do some circular motions around the eyes gently. And your cheeks. And it is gentle enough to go around your eyes and your lips area. Of course, your forehead. We can do smoothing effects, contouring our skin, our soft angles of the face, helping us release the tension and also provide lifting, toning effects on the softer parts of our face. Very beautiful sound. I also wanted to include the massaging part at the end. I see it got a lot of views, but because it wasn't really a new trigger, I figured I won't include it, but you're welcome to go watch it too. I've included like a massage part, and I see a lot of you guys enjoyed that. Okay, let's move on to the next one, okay? The next one will be the measuring in whispers video. And the first part I'll include is the one where I chew the pencil. I never do that. It was really kind of in the moment trigger. I didn't even realize that I did that until I was editing. But I guess it was just the right time. I was using one of those small IKEA pencils that don't have any paint on them, and they're super soft. So I remember I chewed on it. It was quite satisfying because my teeth actually went. And I just left that part. I see a lot of people love that part, which I'm glad, because it was quite natural. And this sort of gibberish ear to ear with some subtle crinkles, always a hit. I always love it. I feel like that one of these. This is one of the calling cards, I want to say, for Gentle Whispering channel. Is this distant sound and coming close, and in a gibberish type of way, I'll whisper to you as I check something or examine and see how everything is doing. It's, one of the classic Gentle Whispering traits, but I've brought it back this year too. I'm glad you guys like it. Okay, I'll just kind of, let me do a little sketch. Very nice crinkle. And talk about crinkle. My latest paper snowflakes video. I am so excited, you guys. You wrote me messages, and some of you even sent me pictures with how you recreated this snowflake. I had no idea that this would be such a hit. I'm excited that it was a hit. I didn't even know I'm going to do that. I was really researching different small crafts to make with children because I decided to organize sort of a small Christmas party for my daughter and her school friends. So I invited a few of them, and I was like, okay, I need to do something for that party. And we were doing these snowflakes. So when I found them, I checked them out, and when I was doing them, I'm like, this crinkle is the best crinkle in the world. Who knew paper bags were it? I'm obsessed with the squishiness sound. So I'm gonna let you check it out. Crinkling is out of this world in this video. I hope you enjoy it. And then a few of you guys liked when I was using glue or when it was penciling in, kind of just on eyeballing my lines instead of measuring. I see you guys enjoyed that part too. And then when I was opening them up, a lot of you looked at that too because that crinkle goes like accordion. You'll check it out. It's a good sound. You can simply put it together back. It folds so neatly and so easily. You can store it for future years and then add As you can see, I'm completely eyeballing everything, and that's okay. Okay, one circle. What do you think? Beautiful. I really like the double dot design. This design of 6 is not enough. We need another one. That was pretty good crinkles, right? Okay, so in my Satisfying Toys video recently, I used the sound of wind in place of the actual sound of the toy, the fidget, because it was so loud. And I used the wind. I tried so many different sounds to put over top of it because that mechanism was just too annoying, but I wanted to include it because it was kind of cool. So I included wind, and it fit perfect because the toy makes movements as if it's getting pushed with the wind, right? So you'll see that, and then at the end, the nail tapping on those faux leather pad that I have. It's wonderful sound too. Sometimes some of these satisfying items as well. Well, either way, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate you. Bye bye. Okay. So this year was the first year when I tried my hand at including you guys in my videos, specifically your beautiful faces. And in my viewer tracing faces video, I've used a couple different techniques. One was the zoom in again. You guys loved the zoom in on this beautiful, beautiful woman, which I saw her comment on Facebook and went to her account and found her picture in her submissions and included that. She's so gorgeous. I can't stop staring at her. But the zoom in part I see brought a lot of people. I'm gonna use more of that. I see that it creates like an extra oomph for the tingles. For me personally, does that too. So you'll see that part. And the other one, you'll notice how on the Beautiful Gentleman I have included moving pieces even though they're immovable. And when I was kind of fixing on glasses, hat, kind of straightening out his shirt, even though nothing moved, but I was pretending to do that. And these little kind of perfectionist parts were a hit as well. Let's take a look. Ellie. Very nice and soft texture. Smoothing out, perfecting the lines. straightening out the color. Fixing up the glasses a bit. Good. Okay. I will definitely do more viewer videos, I think. I'm hopeful. So the next video is one of my thrift store videos in the specific part, which is not really fair because a lot of those parts were highly viewed. I see the whole video is like most viewed. But this specific part, I knew it would sound amazing. That's why I really zoomed into it. In this video, you can see I'm fiddling with that poor dress forever. And I have this old dress that I got. It doesn't matter. And when you lay it on the faux leather surface, it makes the most amazing click, 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 click sound. And I remember I placed it a few times. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna do a lot of this sound. I'm gonna like move things around and make sure I keep doing that noise. It has a beautiful sound, very, very satisfying. And I see a lot of you guys enjoyed it too. So it's one of the more newer triggering sounds from the channel. Let's take a look. Just move this down here. Just fold it for you. This is for you, right? Okay. Just move around this a little bit. Okay, definitely a beautiful sound, huh? I loved it. I'm definitely going to use it again. I don't know where or how, but I will. So, thank you so much for being with me this year. Cheers to the next year. And to all of my viewers from around the world, thank you for watching as well, you guys. Спасибо. С Новым годом. Happy New Year. See you guys soon.